That's good. Computer slow, I'm sorry. Redirecting. There we go. Got it. We're ready.
Time is 6:11. We'll call the Bartonville Community Development Corporation Board meeting to session. First on the agenda is public participation. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next. Consider approval of the January 11th, 2023 meeting minutes. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the January 11th, 2023 meeting minutes. Sorry.
All in favor? Unanimous. Then we have next is the retail marketing analysis by Retail Coach, and I believe he's joining us via Zoom.
This is Erin Farmer of Retail Coach. Erin, our new chairperson is Brenda Latham, and I believe you've met the other members that are present, but Jim Langford, Randy Van Alstine, and Jim Foringer.
Definitely. Well, good to meet you and good to see everybody. Good to be here today. Have a short thought what we could do is just run through the reports together. So starting back in 2020, I think it was, we completed a retail market analysis for Bartonville, which included our team looking at running cell phone analysis on some of your existing shopping centers, some of your existing retailers, and then determining the primary and secondary trade area, and then running reports based off of that. So Tammy, can you all see my screen okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So what I thought I would do is just kind of run through these reports with you real quick and just really hit on some of the high points and then open it up for questions if that sounds okay.
Sounds great.
So the first one we'll look at here is the Lantana Town Center. And for those of you that aren't familiar with our analysis and how it works, we're able to basically look at shopping centers, individual retailers, restaurants, and able to tell where consumers are coming from to frequent those locations by their cell phone. So if you have a cell phone, it's kind of scary to think about, but you're being tracked as you shop and as you eat and as you go to shopping centers. But we have been doing that in Bartonville for several years now to get a good understanding of where consumers are coming from. So the first one we'll look at is Lantana Town Center. Just to kind of show you what that looks like. We had an estimated number of consumers over the last, basically this was the year 2022. So all of 22, we had 198,000 unique consumers shop at Lantana Town Center during those 12 months. Now, those 198,000 people made 1.5 million visits. So this is up from when we last did this. So a couple of years ago, our numbers were 187,000 unique consumers. So we're at 198,000 now. And then the number of visits is right about the same. So we were at 1.45 and we're now up just a tad to 1.5. So you're seeing more consumers shopping at Lantana Town Center. We can also tell where they're coming from. So this is a heat map on the screen here, and I'm trying to zoom in there for you. But you can see the red on the map, that's the highest concentration of where the consumers are coming from. So as we zoom into that, we can start to see the retail trade area form. And we'll look at the retail trade area here in a minute, but basically a large draw. Like I said, the red, when you see the red on the map, that's where you're pulling consumers from on a regular basis. So still a large draw. When you see blue on the map here, these are people maybe making 1 visit, 2 visits out of the year. When we see red, those are people making multiple visits. We can tell where they come from. So Lantana Town Center would be the circle here in the middle. And we can tell that 60% came from home. We can tell 78% went to home after going to Lantana Town Center. We can tell 1% came from Target in Flower Mound. And then we can tell 0.7% went to Target. So this is helpful as, you know, we're trying to understand consumer behavior as we're trying to see how people move throughout the community. It's interesting having this data. Busiest hour of the day at Lantana Town Center was the 5 o'clock hour, but very consistent from about noon until 6. About 200,000 visits of the total came from each of those times, from 12 o'clock until about 6 p.m. So busy really throughout the day. And then Saturday and Sunday were the busiest days at Lantana Town Center, but really Monday through Friday, we're not far off behind. And then lastly, our 2 slides left, I guess, the average person stayed about 47 minutes at Lantana Town Center. So when there, stayed 47 minutes. And then here's the zip code breakdown. So you can see the breakdown here. The 76226 zip code was 42% of consumers. The 75077 zip code was the next 10%. And then Flower Mound, the 75028, and then the 022 zip codes made up another 10%. So you can see great information to have, whether you're looking to recruit retail or restaurants, or really just help the existing restaurants and retail in town. This is the type of data that's helpful. So that's Lantana Town Center. We also looked at Bartonville Town Center. So Bartonville Town Center, not quite the draw that Lantana Town Center has, but for Bartonville, you had 48,000 unique consumers that visited in the 2022 year. Those 48,000 consumers made 130,000 visits. Those numbers are up a tad in the most recent one we have. So in 2021, you had 42,000 consumers going to Bartonville Town Center during the 2021 year, making 106,000 visits. So both number of customers and number of visits is up. So we're seeing more activity, which is good. And again, just like we looked at for Lantana, you can see the trade area and where people are coming from with the heat map here. But still a large draw, not quite the draw that Lantana Town Center had. Again, not as many people, but still a strong draw. And then you can see where people come from and go. So 72% come from home, 66% go home afterwards. Marty B's, 1.3% came directly from Marty B's, and then 2.7% went to Marty B's. So some really good information in here to look at. This was a little bit different than Lantana Town Center. You had a strong lunch crowd and then a strong dinner crowd. If you remember Lantana Town Center, it was kind of really from noon until 6. It was pretty even. It's a little bit different there. And then Saturday was the busiest day. Friday not far behind, and then Monday through Thursday, and then Sunday were pretty consistent as far as number of consumers on those days. And then lastly, zip codes. Again, that 76226 zip code, which is to be expected, 35%, followed by the 022, the 028 zip code in Flower Mound, and then even pulled more from the Louisville zip code 077. So some good information there. Again, just like Lantana Town Center, Bartonville Town Center, the numbers are up for 2022, which is very positive. The last cell phone analysis we'll look at is Marty B's. Very large draw that they have of pulling consumers. A couple of things I'll point out on this. For Marty B's, their numbers are up as well. 2021, we had 173,000 visitors. We're now at 227,000 visitors. The number of visits is down, which is interesting. 360,000. Or I'm sorry, the number of visits is up. It was 360,000 previously. It's up tremendously, up to 466,000. And then the average person spending about 93 minutes at Marty B's. So the numbers look good. The one thing to point out here, a larger draw for Marty B's than both Bartonville and Lantana, especially to the south. You can see more of a pull to the south, and then even more of a pull into Denton, seeing college students coming down from Marty B's. So some good information there, definitely. And then you can see again where people came from and where they went, where they came directly from and then went afterwards. So numbers look good. As far as the hourly visits, makes sense. Not nearly as many visits lunchtime as they have in the evenings at Marty B's, 7 o'clock being the busiest hour. And then Saturday by far is the busiest day. And you can see that breakdown there. And then this is where it was a little bit different. That 76226 zip code for both Bartonville Town Center and Lantana, that number was over 35% for each of them. This Marty B's has a larger draw. So you're pulling significant numbers from down in the 76262 zip code, which is Roanoke, and even into the North Keller zip code, 76244, you're pulling some consumers. So it's interesting to see as we look at different shopping centers, as we look at different areas where we're pulling consumers from. But based off of all of this cell phone analysis, we have updated the retail trade area information. So we have a primary trade area and we have a secondary trade area. So the primary trade area is your core consumer. On the worst of worst days, you're getting consumers in Bartonville from these areas. And then we're going to look at a secondary trade area as well. But Bartonville, so out towards North Lake to the west, is where you're pulling consumers on a regular basis. North of Argyle to up 377, a good direction. Copper Canyon, Double Oak, and then down into Flower Mound, and then using the lake as a boundary here to the south. This is what we're calling the primary trade area. For 2023, those numbers are up. 73,786 people make up that retail trade area, that primary retail trade area. To put that in perspective, when we ran trade area numbers back in 2020, that number was less. It was 67,651. So you've seen a significant growth within this trade area. Also growing is your average household incomes. So when we ran this previously in 2020, the average household incomes for this area were just under 195,000. They're now up to 210,000. So incomes have gone up in this area, which is good to see. But this is just a snapshot. But wanted you to see what this looked like from a primary trade area standpoint. You have reports in your packet, quite a few of them that go into much more detail from a demographic standpoint. And then lastly, the secondary trade area. So again, these consumers are not necessarily shopping daily in Bartonville, but they're maybe coming on the weekends or making 1 or 2 visits a week. Marty B's was a big draw for this trade area. So you'll see going down into the Flower Mound area, even into Corinth and towards Shady Shores to the east and Lake Dallas, and then definitely included North Lake. Just to put that in perspective, 183,000 people within the secondary trade area for 2023. That number's up significantly. It was 171,000 in 2020. So you've seen significant growth in that area, which is to be expected. And then also, just like the primary trade area, the incomes have grown, not quite as fast as the primary trade area, but in 2021, we had 177,000 was the average household income. So those incomes have grown as well. But again, there's additional demographic reports or additional market reports in your packets today. But would love to open it up to any questions if that sounds okay.
The one that would ask the questions is not able to be with us tonight.
Gotcha.
So
Well-
it is creepy that you can gather all that information just from.
Is it not?
Mhm.
It really is. And I knew I just threw a lot of data at you, and there's a lot of data reports. So what I'll tell you is, if you have questions after the meeting or next week, Tammy knows how to get a hold of me. So
Okay.
They can, if you want to send me questions, then I can send them to Aaron, and then I can send it back to you, then, or we can report back at the next meeting.
Okay.
On some of those questions. I'm sure one of our members that's not here will have questions, but he can view this on YouTube later. I told him he'd be able to watch it. So
Awesome. Well, yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. And like I said, if you have questions, I'll be sure to follow up with those answers for you, and appreciate the opportunity to work with y'all again. And if there's something missing in these reports, or there's another area you want me to run some cell phone analysis on, Tammy, y'all don't hesitate to let me know. We'll go ahead and run those for you, and we'll get that knocked out.
sounds good. Thank you, Aaron.
yeah, great seeing everybody. Next time we'll do it in person. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye. See ya.
This is a ton of information.
Yeah, I read through some of it, and it's just kind of overwhelming. 40-something pages.
And the number of cars per house.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Gets down in the nitty gritty. That's why when I sent, if you had any questions, if there was something before the meeting, but I know it's hard because when you look at it, when I receive it, it's kind of. It's overwhelming, and then he goes through it because he knows what he does. And he's able to narrow it down and give that explanation, but.
It's interesting where people were coming from to the location and where
And
they
where they
went
went.
afterwards. Yeah.
That's weird.
No, that's creepy.
Yeah. Because some of the people from Liberty Christian were going there before they went to school. That's a little interesting.
All right, we'll move on to item number 3, discuss and consider approval of a third amended and restated performance agreement by and between Bartonville Community Development Corporation and Cloud9. As I understand it, this is not going to be an amended, right?
This would be amending their existing agreement
Okay.
to extend the date. So the current agreement provided for a grand opening date to be 2022. And if those dates have been extended, the applicant is here and can speak to the board on the reason for the amendment. So this would now become a third amended performance
It's for the
agreement
dates,
for
right?
the current agreement that exists.
Right. I think we all know why, though. Does anyone have any questions why Kim would ever want to change the dates? Bless her heart on this agreement.
So what I did is I sent it to the attorney, and we just took the existing dates that were in there for 23 and for all existing dates and extended them 1 year. So I think you had February for a grand opening, and we just left it April. So that's pretty much what this agreement is doing, is extending that everything 1 year.
All those in favor?
You want to make a motion?
Oh,
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended and restated performance agreement by and between Bartonville Community Development Corporation and Cloud9 Management LLC.
all in favor? Next up is discuss and consider a funding application from Cloud9 Management.
Okay, separate from the existing agreement, Cloud9 has submitted a request for some additional funding. This would be a new application separate from the existing agreement, and the applicant is here to discuss the request.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being here. I loved seeing those numbers. You know, that's what brought us here. Christopher and I all know the story. We were leaving Marty B's one night and I just innocently said, wouldn't the shop be pretty right here? And he said, check on it. The land wasn't even for sale. We chased after them for about 4 months and they finally sold us the land. And Christopher's with CoServe. And so he had pulled some of those numbers for me. I'd love to see the corner of Simmons and 407 and what our business, because they hate us right there, but they can't wait for us to get out of that parking lot, and we're a lot of traffic for that small of an area, so we're looking very forward to expanding the growth and coming to Bartonville. We're so excited. We had our groundbreaking and many of you came, and it was a very emotional, I still get emotional thinking about that day. So exciting 3 weeks ago. And so we have broken ground. We've got lots of dirt moving around, and the weather has definitely played a part in that. 6 days so far. We had a little follow-up meeting today, and they said that we've had 6 weather days so far, but they work on Saturday and Sunday, and they're really working hard to stay with the schedule that they promised us. But what we're here for tonight is to request more funds from you, because when we originally came to you 3.5 years ago, we had a meeting with a builder that I had used for the Flower Mound building and got a guesstimate number, which was what we gave you at the 2.5 million. And this building is 4.7 million. and plus the land, plus the equipment, plus all those things. But we're talking about the price of the building with you, and the value of that building, of course, has gone way up as well. Our business has exploded out here. The move from Flower Mound to Lantana has been the most amazing thing I've seen with the salon business in the 43 years that I've been in it. We've had over 3,600 new clients that had never entered our building. I'd love to have this guy do a study, but 3,600 new clients that had never visited Cloud9 since we moved in May. We've been there a year and a half now. And so we feel like that's only going to just explode in the new building. It happened when we opened in Flower Mound. I fully expect it to happen even more so here in Bartonville. And then we are really leaning heavily on those additional retail spaces to be retail. So sales tax, we have sales tax. We have a small little boutique that'll be in the waiting area upstairs in the salon. And then downstairs, we are really only talking to people that someone could stop and buy a gift or get an outfit for themselves. We really want that to be retail. We will not compete with our neighbors. We don't want to. So we want to bring unique things that aren't here. And that's who we're talking to for that space. So we know that that's going to increase the revenue for sales tax as well. So because of those reasons, the cost of everything and how much that's exploded, as much as we've tried to keep it down, it just is what it is. And we couldn't delay it any further. We had to go. And so because of those reasons, we're requesting more funds. Anything you want to?
The only thing I would add is, when we worked with our general contractors on bids, we actually delayed a little bit of this breaking ground because we had to get the cost of the construction down. It was so high, when we first looked at this
6.2.
a few years ago at the 2.5, you're looking at a little over $200, $250 a square foot. We're up to $477 a square foot. But we actually worked with our contractor just on things that we're doing on the interior, as far as what we wanted and what we're settling on to lower some of that cost. So we've actually shaved about, to get to the 4.7, we shaved $1 million off of the construction cost. But with supply chains the way they are, and your manufacturers and all the people involved with material, when we bid the job, they're not wanting to guarantee a price at that time. So it's an estimate. We took that it should have been probably on the high side, but what we're seeing now that where we've signed all the contracts, we're starting to close on purchase orders and lock in prices. For a good example, concrete's up 10% from when we did it. There are other things that we're seeing, we're locking in at some higher dollars. So that 4.7 is actually probably going to be a little low. But so we just wanted to come and talk with the town and see if there was some help that y'all could provide.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but previously the town or this actual board gave y'all 32,000.
Uh-huh.
So this additional, what is it, 62,000 that you're asking for?
Yes. And I think on that original, 15 or 16
We
been
got-
submitted,
yes.
which we applied to architectural plans,
Engineering.
and those are, because we've redone it 3 times, we're well over 200,000 just in plans.
Board, we don't have to decide this tonight. We can table it and make a decision next month. Y'all have a chance now to ask questions.
On the 2.5 versus a 4.7, was that a pretty much apples to apples building? I mean, did you update anything? Was the size the same?
Size-wise, it's the same.
Actually, it's smaller.
It's really smaller, yeah.
We
sure.
had Marty in that original first footprint. Marty's
Okay.
coffee shop was going to be in the bottom
Mhm.
corner, and it was a little bit bigger, and we were going to have to ask for variances with parking or the
We had a
shared
parking
with
agreement.
Marty. We had
Yeah.
that agreement in place.
Yeah.
But once he pulled out, we needed to get our building to where we could accommodate our parking without having to ask for a variance. So we reduced our footprint of our building.
Mhm.
We went from about 16,000 down to just under 15,000 square feet.
That's true.
It's 14,729, I believe, total. And that's, the salon is a little over right at 10, not right at close to 10,000 square feet. And that leaves about 5,000 for retail on the bottom floor.
In the drawings for retail, it's drawn for 3 different tenants. We're very open to, that being adjusted and changed. We've been in a lot of conversation. Todd Weaver is our leasing agent on that, and he gets a lot of calls every day. We're very excited about the amount of attraction that we've got going there. We really want to be smart about who we choose. So we're trying to kind of just let them all come in right now. And if we get one that just really excites us, we have a couple of things in mind as a family. This is Nathan, my son, that helps me run the salon. And we've got some things that we really hope come together for those spaces.
So do we want to make a decision tonight? We can also change the amount. So they're asking for 60. We can, correct me if I'm wrong, Tammy, but if we approve anything over 10,000, it has to be put out for public notice. It has to be approved by the city council. Right?
Either if it's under 10,000 or over 10,000, it has to be approved by town council. The difference is if it's over 10,000, we have to do a public notice and have a public hearing. And then before any of the funds could be expended, 60 days have to pass from that public hearing. If you want to postpone this to the next meeting, so you have the rest of the members for their input and for discussion with the board attorney, you can do that. If you want to make a decision tonight, it's your pleasure.
I would rather we wait till the whole board's here. We're missing, yeah. You okay with that?
And if you are open to it, if you want to wait until the next meeting, or if you want to have a special meeting between now and then, when you can have a quorum of the whole board, you could set that up.
Okay. I move that we just postpone this till our next monthly meeting when all of our board members are able to be here. That is my motion. All in favor? Sorry, we're just 3.
That's okay.
No,
No,
it's-
I have a board, and I agree with you, actually. So I'd rather everybody be here and be excited about it.
And we're gonna be heavy on the back end and not so much
Yeah.
right this second. So
It doesn't hurt yet.
it doesn't, we're not feeling the pain right now.
Yeah.
So do we need to plan for the to present at the next one?
I'll send you information.
Okay,
Okay, thank
all
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
y'all.
planning on it being on the next agenda, so
Okay.
thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Next up is to receive an update on the BCDC business survey. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. I
Thank
threw
you.
this together last minute. What I've given you is a list of the businesses in our town.
Okay.
Currently, and this is everybody that we sent surveys to. There's 79 businesses. And out of that, I just checked the survey before the meeting and we've had 22 respondents. So we'll send, and I don't know the number from last year, from the first survey that was sent out, but I'm going to send out a reminder and send out postcards to the businesses, reminding them to complete the survey. So I just wanted to give you an update, and then I thought the list was interesting. This is the list that we used. I got from the Bartonville Town Center, that's from the management company, and from the Lantana Town Center, it's the list from the management company. So there's businesses that are like upstairs that aren't like retail businesses. And then we have the businesses that are coming, which are Whataburger, Fat Burger, Round Table Pizza, Pet Barbecue, Premier Martial Arts, Wells Fargo, and then of course Cloud9 plus the retail that Cloud9 will bring in. And then there are still 3 or 4 retail pad sites at Lantana Town Center.
And what does the highlighting mean?
Oh, the highlighting is they've turned in their
Oh, okay.
survey. That was just tracking. So thank you for asking. But those are the businesses that have turned in their survey. That is Shellman's fine.
Oh,
So
okay.
Shellman's is sold to Holiday Liquor.
Okay.
Holiday, they're going to, and they sent their sign permit to us, which we don't do their sign permits, the County Freshwater District does. So they're just changing the name Shellman's. It'll still say Fine Wine and Liquors where it says it on the other sign. But he sold both locations, the one that he had in Highland Village. Sorry, I almost said Double Oak.
You're gonna send that reminder out to them?
Yes, this week.
When, this week?
Uh-huh. And then I'll follow up as soon as it's getting close up, saying, you know, and I'll be able to target those because I'm keeping track of who's turning them in to target those that haven't. And there's some businesses that only have, like Tim House called me and he said, well, I have the Bartonville store. Can I do another survey for trios? And I said, yes, because it's per business.
Right.
And it answered the questions based on that business.
Okay.
So like Marty B's, he turned one in for Marty B's, but he didn't submit one for Marty B's Coffee or Marty B's To Go.
Okay.
So I'll remind them that it's for each business, not just for them because they own.
Right.
Yep. And that also includes the businesses that are located in the Lee Hilton building, which used to be the, I can't remember their name now. They used to, but they own the blue building right here on the corner.
Oh,
I'm a-
Steel something,
Seal. That's
Steel
it.
Construction.
Seals, yes. Seals Construction is now a mechanical installation contractor, so they do still have a person working out of there. They just don't own the building anymore.
The coming soons didn't receive a,
No, they did not.
okay.
Any other questions on the survey? All right, we'll move on to number 6, discussion on development activity, any new businesses, prospective businesses, expansion.
I don't have any other updates of those businesses that are, you know, coming soon. Whataburger has submitted their permits, from what I understand, to the Denton County Freshwater District. And knowing that we got survey results from Shellman's, which will, the new Holiday Liquor, which that just switched over, and the Fat Burger and Round Table, they've submitted, I've signed off on their alcohol permit.
Where would they be going from?
That building, so the Fat Burger, Round Table Pizza, Pet Bar Boutique, Premier, Martial Arts, and Wells Fargo are going in the shell building between the current building where Shellman's and like between Casamia and Dutch Brothers.
Okay. I got you. I know where you're talking.
That's the new shell building. Yeah, that's,
The one across the street from, I mean. on the
yes,
north
and it's
side.
in between where Casamia is and Dutch Brothers. There's another shell building
Oh, okay.
that mirrors the one that Shellman's or Holiday Liquor and Casamia.
Yeah.
I think there's a nail salon and a hair.
Yeah.
Luxury nails and a hair salon in there as well.
Yes,
So Wells Fargo is going in the strip.
Into
center.
that, yes.
Interesting.
there's a Bank of America there.
It's gonna be in the next building to it.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Yes.
Is
And then you
Bank
have
of
Chase.
America by Casamia?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
So I really don't
That's
have
okay,
any
thank you.
additional,
Thank you.
and then you all attended the Cloud9 groundbreaking. So as far as item 6 and 7, I really don't have anything future to report to you.
Okay. Does anyone have any future items that they would like added to our next agenda?
Yeah, between now and the next meeting that we postponed for Cloud9, can we get some more, is there any kind of detail on what the additional funds are for? I mean, other than just the increase in the building?
That's all they put on their application.
Yeah. Okay,
And I'm going back up to that page. We can talk about that now, right?
You close that, it's still on the agenda. We can meet with them. We can set a meeting with Brenda too and go over their application with them. And if you want more information, have them submit that information to consider it at your next meeting. Okay.
There's no other items, then I move we close the meeting at 6:45 PM.